This week, we're changing my stock column shift to a cool new floor shift with a digital gear shift readout. Hi guys, and welcome back to Ellie's Garage, where my dad and I are restoring a 1965 Ford Falcon to become my daily driver. And we're learning as we go. In a previous episode, we were working with our good friend and Falcon expert, Jerry Kratz, to shorten my steering column. And in the process, we took away the column shift. And over the same weekend, we also put in a cool new floor shifter. First, we needed to get Carl down from where he had been for the column episode, and then it was time to get the shifter in place and figure out exactly where it would go.
So, we need to put bolts in this.
Okay.
You know what the directions are for. They're to keep the stuff in the box from rattling around.
I thought that's what they were. Right, a little cushion.
Yeah, that's exactly
keeps the noise down.
And then after you screw it up, then you go back and look at them.
But you don't read. You just look at the pictures.
You just look at the pictures. Right? See, she's already said. What does she got to go to college for? She already knows.
I'm so smart.
She knows everything.
She doesn't need this. There's nothing they're going to teach her there.
I don't need college.
Okay, it's pretty straight.
So if it's above floor, why do we have to cut a hole?
We're not going to cut a hole. You can take it off now.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we have to put a slot in here, but we're not going to cut a hole here.
Oh,
and I don't think we're even going to try, I think we're going to end up putting these brackets on top.
Okay.
So, and then we'll just drill. It's going to make a mess out of the drill bit, but...
well, could we just cut...
I mean, we could just cut a square where these sit, just to make it easier, but whichever works.
I'd rather not ruin your drill bit.
Well, it's not. It just makes it just gets gummy from that.
Yeah, that's the worst. Before we cut the hole in the shifter arm, we lined up the shifter and drilled the holes for the 4 main mounting bolts.
Flip it, hold it hard, and just there you go. Right.
Okay.
Good job.
Now we have to figure this out.
So is that notch, so that's going to be right here,
Yes.
and then this is just going to feed down?
Yes. So what we'll have to do is actually this will have to be put in from underneath the car. It'll go up through the slot because it'll be a pretty big slot because this will be from here to here most likely to make it work.
And this part isn't going to hit?
If it's designed properly, like this is for a C4, it looks like, it should be the correct one. Okay. So I'm going by what the directions say. Now with the shifter in position, Jerry outlined where we would cut the slot for the shifter arm. Okay, well, you take the shifter off. Keep going. Keep going. Okay. A little more. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Sweet. Man. That's really nice.
Yeah, you know what? Probably won't be able to get that. Yeah. Oh, I got it.
Woo!
That's pretty funny. Well, we'll just have to bend the arm, that's all. See, you jinxed it because you said, is that... Isn't that what you said?
Yes, because the bend looked wrong. That's not jinxing, that is being observant. Okay, it's time to get the shifter tightened down so we can make sure all the other adjustments we're making are exactly what we need. And Jerry's being super nice because he's letting me tighten from the top, and he's gonna hold the lock nuts from the bottom because there's not a lot of room right there. We have to cut the X-mat because it's sitting up too high. The bolts are so little that it's sitting up too high with the X-mat on, so we're just gonna do a little...
Nice.
Now that we have the shifters to the correct level, we can actually get the bolts to thread. And again, Jerry was very nice and didn't make me do the hard part. While he squeezed under and shoved his hand up into the little space to hold the lock nuts, I easily tightened the bolts. Okay, that's good. Okay, that one's good.
All right.
Nice.
Let's see, we're hitting here, and we're not, but this doesn't look nearly the angle that it was before.
Do you want us to hold that while you want to see how it looks like?
Yeah, I would say, why don't you hold that? Let me look at another piece. What's happening is this is actually hitting the tunnel before we can get it up. So what we're going to do is we're going to bend this down a little bit, and then we're going to bend this back up, and that should bring us back to the right angle, but it'll be a little bit like this.
Okay.
So. Pretty close. So just move it up a little bit, like move it like in the middle. Okay, hold it. So what we're gonna do is, it's just touching the floor right here.
Okay.
So we're gonna come in and just do a little
Sanding.
little grinding, yeah.
Oh, nice.
So. Move it all the way down to low.
Wow, it really does not like me putting it past.
So it's hitting right here. It's hitting the transmission when it's at low. So I'm gonna go in. We're gonna, since this is square, we're gonna just circle this, make it round, and then that'll clearance this edge here. And then there's also one spot that is just, and it's not quite hitting, but we're gonna just take a little, just a little notch to make sure that that's not hitting the trans. So, because the problem is, if you go all the way up in the part, to get this away from it, then this is hitting the floor again.
Yeah.
So.
And with that final bit of adjusting, we were finally able to get the arm to move without hitting the tunnel or the transmission.
So this is the arm for the trans. This is the arm for the shifter. So what we're going to do is we're going to put, this is called a Heim joint. So see how it's got a adjustable ball socket inside. So we're going to put that on this end, this on this end, which will go like this. And then the rod is what is moves it back and forth. Yeah, so what we'll do is we're going to bolt these on and put this on the trans, this on the shifter, and then we'll measure the length we need, and then we just cut this.
Okay.
And then we'll thread it in and see how it works.
Okay. Once we got the new shifter arm on and everything bolted up, it was working great. And our apologies for the footage here. The space is so tight up next to the transmission. It was really hard to get any footage from the install that looked good, but from some of the diagrams from the instructions, you can see here what it actually looks like with the shifter arms connected. Okay, so we have our floor shifter in.
Yeah!
And that's very good, but we have a few problems, which is that we can't see what gear we're in. We don't have a neutral safety switch anymore, and we don't have reverse lights, but we have a Dakota digital panel that actually hooks up to our dash and fixes all of those problems for us. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to install this. We don't have a lot of room, so we're going to install it to this mounting plate back here in the glove box. Because this is a relatively tight place, and we're trying to make it easier on ourselves, we're just going to drill holes and then use zip ties.
How'd that work?
That was really fast.
How could you?
Glad these are zip ties because I was a little off. I don't think so.
That looks good. Nice.
Now it was time to actually install the Dakota digital unit that reads the gear position. So with a little work and adjustment, we got it installed on the transmission. And now it was time to get the GS-3000 hooked up to the shifter arm. But we started realizing a little bit of a problem. The main problem was that by having the pivot point all the way at the end of the shifter arm, it was causing the arm on the gear shift indicator to move too much, and it was getting bound up at the end of the motion.
It shouldn't be hard to pull. If it's hard to pull, there's something wrong.
So, to fix this, while Dad and I were just repainting the steering column, Jerry was actually hard at work welding a new mounting spot on the gear shift so that it now looks like this. Which meant that with the same amount of movement, it would cause the arm on the indicator to move a lot less.
Opposite way now.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. How about back the other way? Great.
Awesome.
Looks good.
Woo!
So now with the shifter in and working, it was time to pre-install the chrome ring for the leather shifter boot that goes around the shifter. So I would pre-drill the holes and then screw in the stainless steel screws. Putting anti-seize on the bolts because the metal doesn't like the other metal.
What kind of metal are
I
those?
don't know. Stainless?
Stainless!
Yes! I would have remembered that if I was awake.
Ellie's getting a little delirious.
It's only 7:13. I'm just screwing in a screw, obviously.
Ellie's having to screw the screw through. See that ridge there? That is double walled steel, or double walled, so it's really hard to go through. What did Jerry teach you? What did Obi-Wan teach you?
She wants me to help her with it.
No, I can do it. He taught me anti-seize will make it go in easier, but also you do like 3/8 of a turn forward, and then back it off, and then go forward, and then back it off, so that you're
Kind of cutting. Yeah, that's good.
Put in a screw.
And you have to push down real hard, huh?
Okay.
Now when you go back in.
No, not yet.
Yeah!
Save me. So now that we've got the beautiful shifter in and it's working and it's great, we're taking it out. Because now we do carpet. Next, it was time to get the carpet back in. So I disconnected the shifter from the arm and removed it from the base. And then Dad and I got the carpet moved back and installed.
Cut all the lines, and let's get the whole piece out. This is why we pre-drilled all the holes. But now we have to find them. Yeah.
So now it was time to make permanent holes in the carpet. To do this, I would find a screw hole, then Jerry would use his soldering iron to melt a hole in the carpet, and then we would line everything back up and screw in the screws.
That's 3 in?
3.
3. Oh, God.
There's only 2, 4,
10.
so we have 7 to go. Awesome.
So now we had the holes finalized in the metal and the holes finalized in the carpet, but we had to take it all back off so that we could get the boot on and get the final installation done. So I thought it was a good idea to tape off the border of the boot ring so we would know where the edges were, and then we just slowly went around, got the boot, put it in the right position, pre-punched holes, and then screwed the boot ring back down again. The shifter is now fully installed and it looks so great. And even though I was exhausted, I was really excited about how it was looking. With that complete, it was time to finalize the wiring for a Dakota Digital GS-3000. First, Jerry got the initial wiring installed to our 12-volt switch source, and then while I was doing an online class, Dad and Jerry finished up wiring so that we could get to the really fun part of programming. The programming was really easy. We just put the system in setup mode, and then we put the shifter in the position we wanted to assign to each gear, hold down the set button, and then just repeat that for all the rest of the gears. We weren't able to capture it very well when we were at Jerry's because by the time we finished this, it was super late and we had to head home. But it's really cool, so I wanted to show you now. It's really nice because as you click through, you can see what gear you're on. And at this point, I've gotten into the habit of knowing exactly where to go, what to put it into drive. So it's kind of fun at this point. When we first got Carl, I had never planned on putting in a floor shifter, but because we had to shorten the column, removing the column shift, it was a necessity now. And now that I've lived with it for a little while, it's just another one of those things that makes Carl really special. So what I'm taking out of the garage is that sometimes unexpected problems can lead to much loved solutions. Thanks to Dakota Digital for sending us the GS-3000. It's really helpful to know exactly what gear I'm in, and if you want your own GS-3000, you can find the link in the description. And of course, special thanks to Jerry Kratz, who let us take up his whole weekend with this project. Thanks as always to my executive producer, Drew Carter, and all my patrons on Patreon. Thanks for watching, consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time in the garage.